Hey, I'm Charles, Big C, the Bear Calling Nation, and bringing you the next installment of the business of podcasting. Today's the myth of timing and format. The myth is I have to shows have to be a certain time frame. They either have to be contained to a certain time or they have to fill a certain time, and that's just not true. I'm going to talk about why in a second. The other part of that is well, it has to be this way. It has to be news, or it has to be tech, or it has to be comedy. No, I mean it can really, honestly be just anything you want it to be. That is the freedom and the joy of podcasting. And I hate that so many people let these myths that I've been talking about stop them from podcasting because there's so many people out there with cool stories, good stories, awesome views of the world, a quirky sense of humor that you just don't see every day, insights into history or into politics. I hate politics with a passion. I think it's crap. I think most people treat politics like religion. But when I talk to somebody who knows politics, like my friend Philip over at cybertech.net, where she does tech there, he doesn't do politics, he does tech there. But I'll talk politics with him because I learned something. Either I learned why I still don't want to be involved in politics, or I learned something more about the way things should be, or really what's going on behind this or that or the other. Just things I just don't generally understand. So, I mean, there's people out there who can do that who won't podcast because they don't have time. Now, that might be true. You might not have time. The other part of this, if I get to it, is going to be making things easy for yourself. And I might be sniffling today a little bit. I went out and mowed the yard. Yard is something that's green that goes in front of a domicile. For those of you living in cities or apartments, uh, yards are cool, but they take maintenance. But today is nice and sunny instead of snowy, which I believe is what they have out west in Washington, in Northern California, and all that. Anyway, warm, nice. Cut the grass, a little sniffly. So timing and format. You don't make a show. This is me. I'm a little bit zen when it comes to podcasting. I believe creativity is all around us, and those people that we see as who are creative are just tapping into the way they see the energy. Not like auras or I'm not getting crazy crystal meth on you or anything. I'm just talking about creativity is part of life, and when you tap into it, you tap into something that most people can't tap into. And I think podcasting really falls into that. I started my very first show trying to be a morning radio, all funny all the time, just make people laugh show. And it didn't work for me because it wasn't who I was. I enjoy that kind of thing, but I can't be that shallow, never talk about anything serious guy. Also, uh, have tried to get into politics or try to get into discussion shows, and I was limited because there's only so many things I can get into that I'm not a part of. And that's number one key to podcasting. Find out what you're a part of. Actually, no. Find out what you are, who you are, and talk about that. If you find yourself talking politics to everybody who'll listen, if you find yourself digging through news story after news story because you love it, every day you're on blogs finding out what the newest thing is in news or the newest thing is in tech, and you're making comments on it and you're interacting, and that's what you do, that's what you talk about. When I really got into the Bear Calling Nation, when I started it, it was about getting help. It was about talking my issues out and setting forth, blazing a path for those who are like me, who feel outcast, who are outcast, who don't see the world the way everybody else sees it, and who have issues. Because I couldn't find help locally. So that's why I started. But at some point, it went from just me talking about my personal journal to becoming a show, being more interactive, being engaging, and having a co-host, turning it into more of a show format and not just me talking to the microphone format. And when I did that, I stopped myself. I said, what can I, because I felt like I had to bring up a topic. I had to say, and for a while I was putting that on Facebook. What do you people want to talk about tonight? What does everybody want to hear about? Because I felt inadequate. I didn't know where to go. I was spinning my wheels. And I actually stopped and took inventory of myself. I sat in the office and went, what do I do all day that I love? Besides working. I was going to an office. Besides sitting here and working, I don't have a job I can talk about. Nobody cares. And plus, it's got some form of secrecy to it. I can't talk about exactly what I do. And even then, the stuff I can talk about, for the most part, doesn't hit a general audience. It's very medical. and you'd have to understand and love medical stuff to really understand the humor, the frustration, or whatever. So a very limited resource there. So I said, what do I do? And I found one day it clicked because I was sitting there and I was just talking to somebody in the office. We were talking something in the news or talking about news stories, and it wasn't about the story. It was never about the issue of the day. It was about seeing the world differently. And they were coming from a very narrow standpoint, middle America, normal, what you would expect the average person to, well, this is this and this is that. It's like, I'm not arguing that point with you. I'm saying, look at it, and that's when it clicked. That is what I do all the time. It's not about arguing. It's not about forcing my view on you. It's not about fitting that talk radio format in the afternoons where it's, this is what I think and you're wrong, blah, blah, fight me, come argue. It's about, okay, well, I see your point, but let me show you something. Let me open up a new world. Let me play the Reading Rainbow song. Reading Rainbow? I don't know, it popped in my head. And that was the other thing that I felt like I brought to podcasting to my show, which is Bear Crawling Nation Live. By the way, if you're curious what my show is, it's the Bear Crawling Nation Live, found on bearcrawlingnation.com. Record every Thursday night live, 9:30 p.m. Welcome to come along and check us out. It's a fun time. And it's very just interactive, very over the top, high energy. I'll make you laugh. Hopefully, maybe I'll make you think. And sometimes I'll piss you off. But it's always a good time. But that was my thing is, it wasn't just about talking about the topics, which I'll do with anyone anywhere. I'll talk about religion. I'll talk about politics. I'll talk about what happened in the news. I'll talk about life stories. We'll talk about cool stuff. But I felt the other thing that I brought that was unique to my show and unique to me is the craziness. Just randomly saying the stuff that's in my head. It's not a wandering path, what do they say next? It's that I'll just say stuff that I know I find funny. And that's the overall rule. Not every joke I tell gets laughs. Not everything I say meets people where they are. But I find it funny or I find it relevant. I find it important. And that's the number one rule for my show, and that should be the rule for your show. It's not about what everybody out there, where's out there? It's podcast land. It's the internet. It doesn't matter. You can't pinpoint it. You don't know your audience. So in podcasting, your audience should be you. What do you find funny? What do you find important? Because when you start out podcasting, you're talking to yourself. That's it. For the most part. If you're jumping into news, you're talking to people who enjoy news, but you're still putting your spin on it, so you're talking to yourself. When you tackle tech, you're going to tackle geeks and tech guys. That's me. I like some tech. I like geeks. So you're going to tackle tech stuff. So you have a certain general audience, but you're talking to yourself. You're filling a void that maybe you can't find somewhere else. Now, if you're still not sure about podcasting, you're not sure what you should do, find what you enjoy. I had Shane. We talked about Shane on the show earlier. He wrote in. We've been talking back and forth about some things behind the scenes. But he talks about how he used to be in customer service. You must have a million stories you could share from that. But he also likes news. And he did a little test run and put it on YouTube. And Shane, you can link that here. Just post it as a reply to this video or reply to any of the videos. I'd love to, if you want people to hear it, just tack it on. It's fine. I don't have the link, or I'd put it out there for you guys. And it was cool. It was a good thing. And he was like, well, I once I cut it down, I want to hit like 3 minutes of material. That's fine. Do a 5-minute show where it's pow, 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 pow. Just the coolness you found today. Maybe do that every day. Maybe do it once a week. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're entertained. You enjoyed what you did. So timing, it can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some people have done a 1-minute podcast. I think there's a month. I don't remember which month, but there's a month out there where I think it may be November, but there's a challenge of putting out a podcast a day, as long as it's 1 minute longer, longer. It has to be done every day. I don't get it. What's the point? If I normally do an hour-long show, but now just to have the challenge, I'm going to do 1 minute a day or 5 minutes a day. Why? I think it's supposed to promote podcasting, but the only people I know who know about it are podcasters. So you're promoting to yourself. Never mind. I'm off on a different topic. My bad, yo. So, it doesn't matter the time limit. Don't limit yourself. I've done a 2-hour show. Currently, it's down to 2 1-hour shows. I do them in a 2-hour block if I record 2 separate shows. But I was doing 2 hours. I was game. I've done 3 hours before because I had enough stuff to talk about. I've done 30 minutes. It does not matter what you do as far as time. Nobody sets the rules. People will let you know if it's too long. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it if you're really being creative, if you're really getting out there. Find what's right for you. You'll feel if it's too long. You'll feel if it's too short. You'll want to talk more. And I like doing a YouTube video. I have 15 minutes, period. I've got to get everything done in 15 minutes. That's it. I like that. Podcasting, though, is not like that. You can set that on yourself. I've set myself an hour. I make that limit myself. I stop at the half hour and do a break, promote some other shows, play a little bit of music, come back in. I like that because it lets people have an easy, quick place to stop the show and pick right back up with it in their ride to work. But I put that on myself. It doesn't matter if you do that or not. You know, people still listen. The same people who told me it's easier if you do it in 30-minute chunks or put that break in so we know where it is, are the same people who still listened when I did the 2-hour and 3-hour shows. They will listen to you if you talk to. You resonate with the audience because you resonate with yourself. That's the truth about podcasting. So time and format, that's the myth. It doesn't have to be any set way. It doesn't have to be any set time. So I want to talk about making it easier on yourself. And in the Bear Crawling Nation, it's all or nothing with us. There's no segmentation to our life. That's how we live. We live and breathe podcasting. But at the same time, it's not bringing any money in for us. So we all always have to work. We all have families. We all have obligations, lives outside of the computer. So we can't go, well, okay, this is family time. This is podcasting time. This is work time. We used to be able to do that when we first started out, but now we do so much stuff, so many projects, so many shows that we have going on. There's always something, and I'm always looking to grow. If you have a podcast that you might want some help with, that you think you fit with us, the story of life, the touching people, the being honest and true and just revealing who you are in whatever format you have, bearcrawlingnation@gmail.com, and we'll listen to your show, and we'll see if we can help you out, maybe include you in the nation. But I'm not promoting myself. That's not what this is about. This is about why we do what we do. And I had to make it easy because if I work 4 10-hour days. But right now there's so much overtime and pressure at work. I'm working 3 15-hour days and a 4th 10-hour day. Because the one day I work, I actually do my show that night. So I'm only doing 10 and a half hours of work, and then I do 2 hours, it comes down to 3.5 hours of show, but we only record 2 of it. Anyway, so I'm always doing that. 4 days of 15 hours of being up here in my office, of working, of being on a microphone or whatever. That's a lot of time. So I had to do family time. So my 3 days off, I have 3 days off. But I sleep, a lot of that because I'm so tired from working so much overtime. My wife works a little bit, so I have to make my schedule around her. And then we have kids. So I'm playing with the kids. There's school. There's different stuff to do. I have to be able to do my stuff all together, bundled up. And you might find a place in your life. If it's just driving in your car, Jeff in LA, you have a commute because it's LA. It's supposed to be a 30-minute ride. It's like 2 hours to get home. Portable recorder. Talk about your thoughts. Get somebody to help you edit it. That's all I'm saying. Find a way to make it easier for yourself. It doesn't have to be, all right, I'm going to block out 3 hours where nothing else is going on. I'm going to make sure. That might work for you. That might just be the boulder up the hill that you just get tired of pushing. I do most of now today is Sunday afternoon, and the family's out and about, and so I had some time, so I made sure just to do my video today, right now, while they're gone. But a lot of these times, I'll do it in the morning right before I start work. I'll make sure I get up here a little bit earlier, get my coffee going, and I'll do it. Because that's when it's easy, because I'm already getting ready to work for 15 hours. I'll do it. Sometimes I've been known to take my lunch break and do these videos. But these videos didn't happen until I found a way to make it easier for myself. When I was trying to do the HD camera that I have, that's right over there. It's right over there. My HD camera that I bought for this. And I use it for my show and use it for other stuff. But I bought it to do the YouTube videos. And I was finding myself doing the video, but then I have to transfer it to my computer. And that takes time. Then I have to edit it, and that takes time. Cut out stuff. I was trying to put little Life as It Happens bumper. This is my other channel, youtube.com/CKYMNSER, Cookie Monster. It's my Life as It Happens, just kind of internal look of my everyday life. I went to Israel, so I did it there. Renfest, just out and about. You get to enjoy life with me. Anyway, coming down the time, make it easier on yourself. Bundle it. Don't segment.